We have reached the final hour of our reflection today. You have heard the call to be an architect. You have faced the shadow of your own nature. And now, you hold the steel of your own will in your hands. What will you do with it? Will you let it rust in the damp corners of tomorrow and maybe? Or will you raise it high and cut a path through the thickets of this era? Christopher is not here to give you comfort, he is here to give you a challenge. The throne of your own life is vacant, waiting for the man who is brave enough to sit upon it and stay there when the wolves howl at the gate. The year 2026 is not an end, it is a beginning for those who have forged their errata in the fire of discipline. You are the sovereign. You are the order. You are the king of the kingdom within. As you walk out into the world today, carry the weight of this truth. You are no longer a leaf in the wind. You are the wind itself. Your eyes are fixed. Your heart is steady. Your will is absolute. The journey is long, and the path is steep, but the view from the summit is reserved for those who refuse to stop when their legs failed them. The Duke is watching from the shadows of history. Christopher is standing beside you in the silence. The world is waiting for a man who cannot be bought, cannot be intimidated, and cannot be broken. Be that man. Build that life. Rule that kingdom. The architecture of your destiny is now supported by the steel of your will. Stay sharp. Stay focused. Stay unchained. The sovereign has arrived, and the chaos must now bow before the order. The world is yours, if you have the will to take it. Building a sovereign will is not the work of a single afternoon of inspiration, it is a labor of decades, performed in the heavy silence of lonely minutes. It is the conscious choice to do the difficult thing precisely because it is difficult, and because you know that ease is the slow poison of the soul. Most people in this modern era are looking for the path of least resistance, they are looking for the shortcut, the easy hack, the quick fix that requires no sacrifice. But Christopher knows that the shortcut is a beautiful lie that always leads to a dead end. True power is found in the grind, in the repetitive, soul-crushing labor that no one sees and no one applauds. It is found in the early morning hours when the world is still dark and your body begs for the warmth of the sheets, yet you choose the cold floor. It is found in the moments when you are tired, discouraged, and completely alone, yet you pick up the hammer and strike the heavy stone once more, simply because you said you would. This is how you temper the steel of your soul. You don't build an empire by massive conquest, you build it by mastering the next 10 seconds. And then the next. And then the next. Until your discipline becomes so heavy, so solid, that the world's chaos simply shatters against you like glass against a cliffside. Think of your will as a muscle that must be broken every single day to grow stronger. In 2026, the environment is designed to make that muscle atrophy. Everything is fast, everything is soft, and everything is immediate. But you must seek out the resistance. You must develop a hunger for the uphill climb. When you feel that internal resistance, that voice that whispers, "Not today," or "This is enough," that is the very moment the work begins. That voice is the enemy of your sovereignty. To defeat it, you do not argue, you simply act. You move your body, you complete the task, and you move to the next. This silent, persistent action is the mortar that holds the bricks of your character together. A man who cannot be moved by his own comfort is a man who cannot be moved by any external force. He is a sovereign in the truest sense of the word, for he has conquered the most difficult territory in existence, himself. The world can offer him nothing he hasn't already earned, and it can threaten him with nothing he hasn't already endured in the silence of his own training. The world of 2026 is obsessed with the loud, the flashy, and the immediate. It celebrates the roar of the crowd, the flicker of the screen, and the validation of the mob. But real power, the kind that survives the passage of centuries and the collapse of civilizations, is born in the absolute silence where no one is watching. Christopher has watched the rise and fall of countless kings, and he will tell you this: a man's true worth is measured only by what he does when he is completely alone. Your errata is either built or broken in those quiet, invisible hours of the night. It is the choice to pick up the heavy, ancient book when the glowing phone screams for your attention. It is the choice to maintain your physical posture and your mental clarity when your spirit is bone-tired. It is the choice to speak the brutal truth to yourself, even when that truth burns like salt in a fresh wound. Most people are terrified of silence because in silence, they are forced to face the staggering emptiness of their own resolve. They use the noise of the world to drown out the sound of their own failure. But for you, the architect of your own fate, silence is your laboratory. It is the sacred space where you refine the gold of your character and discard the useless dross of your excuses. Discipline is not a cage that limits you, it is the master key that unlocks every gate in the kingdom. Without it, you are nothing but a slave to your fluctuating moods, a servant to your physical hunger, and a helpless victim of your own fleeting impulses. You are a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of every wave. But with a sovereign will, you become the commander of your own destiny. Think of your life as a vessel navigating a dark, unpredictable, and often hostile sea. The storm of 2026 is merely the environment, but your will is the rudder that dictates the direction. Even the strongest gale cannot sink a ship that knows exactly where it is going and refuses to let the waves dictate its course. You must learn to love the struggle, for the struggle is the only path to the throne. If your life is too comfortable, your soul will inevitably become soft, and a soft soul is nothing but a banquet for the predators that roam this earth. Step into the cold intentionally. Embrace the long, grueling hours. Find the hidden beauty in the exhaustion, for it is the sign that you are being remade into something far greater than you were yesterday. Look out your window at the shifting landscape of 2026. What do you truly see? You see a society caught in a collective fever dream, rushing toward goals they do not understand, fueled by anxieties they cannot name. It is a world of entropy, where traditional order is dying and chaos is the new, unholy king. In such an unstable age, the greatest act of rebellion, the ultimate form of dissent, is to be a man of perfect order. To have a morning routine that is sacred and unbreakable. To have a word that is as solid as a mountain. To have a body that is a disciplined weapon and a mind that is an impregnable fortress. Christopher does not want you to hide from the chaos of the world, he wants you to walk through it as a fixed, unmoving point of light. When everyone around you is panicking over the news, you must be the one who breathes deeply and sees the truth. When everyone else is shouting in anger, you must be the one who listens and then acts with cold, calculated, and devastating precision. This is the heavy weight of sovereignty. It is not a crown of gold that you wear for vanity, it is a crown of absolute responsibility that you wear for purpose. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small that promise may seem, your errata grows a little stronger, like a thread being woven into a cable. But every time you break a promise to yourself, every time you take the easy way out, a piece of your soul withers and dies. The world will try to break your focus in 1,000 different ways. It will throw distractions at you like stones. It will offer you the slow poison of comfort wrapped in the beautiful silk of convenience. It will tell you that you deserve a break, that you've done enough, that you should just blend in. Do not take the bait. Your will is a muscle, and like any muscle, it must be strained to the point of failure to grow. Do the thing you fear until fear becomes nothing more than your shadow. Stand in the cold rain until you forget what it feels like to be dry and warm. This is not about being cruel to yourself, it is about the ultimate liberation of your spirit. A man who can control his own breath can eventually control his own empire. In the chaos of the coming years, those without a sovereign will be harvested by the machine. Those with it will be the ones who plant the seeds of the next world. We have reached the final hour of our reflection today. You have heard the call to be the architect of your fate. You have faced the shadow of your own dark nature and integrated it. And now, you hold the cold, heavy steel of your own will in your trembling hands. The question is no longer what will happen to me, but what will I make happen? Will you let this steel rust in the damp, dark corners of tomorrow and maybe? Or will you raise it high above the noise of this era and cut a path through the thickets of mediocrity? Christopher is not here to give you empty comfort or hollow praise, He is here to give you a challenge that will define the rest of your days. The throne of your own life has been vacant for far too long, waiting for the man who is brave enough to sit upon it and stay there even when the wolves are howling at the very gate. The year 2026 is not an ending, it is a magnificent beginning for those who have forged their errata in the fires of discipline. You are the sovereign. You are the order. You are the king of the kingdom within, and it is time you started acting like one. As you walk out into the world today, carry the weight of this truth in your bones. You are no longer a leaf in the wind, tossed about by the whims of others. You are the wind itself. Your eyes are fixed on a point that no one else can see. Your heart is steady, beating with the rhythm of purpose. Your will is absolute, a force of nature that cannot be negotiated with. The journey is long, the path is steep, and the air is thin, but the view from the summit is reserved exclusively for those who refuse to stop when their legs failed them and their lungs burned. The Duke is watching from the long shadows of history, expecting greatness. Christopher is standing beside you in the silence of your own resolve. The world is waiting, perhaps even pleading, for a man who cannot be bought, cannot be intimidated, and cannot be broken by any earthly power. Be that man. Build that life. Rule that kingdom with justice and strength. The architecture of your destiny is now supported by the unbreakable steel of your will. Stay sharp. Stay focused. Stay unchained. The sovereign has finally arrived, and the chaos of the world must now bow before the order of your soul. The world is yours, if only you have the will to take it and the strength to keep it.